Welcome to Frightday. I keep forgetting which way it is. Friday. Today last night, we watched MANIAC, with Elijah Wood. And it was a cracking film. Elijah would watch it again. So, he's awake. I'm getting flashbacks. Flashbacks of take 1, episode 1. I didn't like the blonde head at first.
It's alright, he's quiet.
Okay.
He's quiet when he's just had a feed.
If it gets too loud, we can chip him over the fence, maybe.
Good idea, and we've got that on cam. Welcome back to Friday, the ongoing series of where we watch a horror film every Friday and do a really snazzy, very edited review on YouTube. We're going to go in the same style as we did last time, which is introduction, characters, plot, and of course the climax, and explaining our views to it. Rob, have you seen Elijah Wood's MANIAC? No. Alright then. Rob has no comment. All they're going to see is a fence talking, going, yeah, no.
It essentially looks like you're talking to the fence. You know, watch the film and then see our opinions of it. To see if we share your opinion.
I'm going to put this at the start. Watch the film before you watch this. Start with the introduction. So, Heather, introduction of MANIAC. What did you think?
I thought it was very unique. I've never seen a film like it before. But you get a sense from it like a predator stalking a prey sort of thing. And he talks to himself, so just as the title suggests, you're seeing it from the MANIAC's point of view.
The thing is as well, he's very confident in his hunt, isn't he? He's very as he's strolling, he notices that she notices him. But that doesn't stop him. He doesn't try and hide it at all, does he? He makes it so obvious. Like even at that point where she stops, he stops, and when she continues walking, he continues driving. It's so obvious, but I think
that terrorising factor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the game. Yeah, I completely agree. And then obviously he says, as she takes a shortcut home, he says to the audience, was it, "Oh Jessica, I know where you live anyways," and he gets there before she does, and he goes into the flats, turns off the power, and just kills her at a doorstep. But the killing is really good, isn't it? Because
apart from the CGI.
See previous video for that rant.
Yeah, CGI rant alert.
Rob, Tracy, do you have any intention of watching Elijah Wood's MANIAC? I think we're safe to talk about spoilers, aren't we? We'll be going into spoiler territory. Is that okay?
No problem.
Smashing.
Rob doesn't watch horror films. He was telling me yesterday.
He says, "You're so beautiful."
Yeah,
then
like,
she screams, and then he gets a knife and shoves it up her, like a neck through her head.
You can see the knife in her mouth, don't you? That was quite.
It was really clever because
very graphic.
It was very graphic. It is all first-person perspective, which is such a good angle.
Flashbacks.
Oh yeah, flashbacks.
So there's certain times where
there's some certainly dark flashbacks. So in the introduction, you get to know Elijah Wood, the MANIAC. You get to know how he hunts and how he stalks.
Like this.
Yeah, exactly. This little maniac right here. So, the next section is characters. So, who are the characters in this film? We have Elijah Wood, who is the quote-unquote maniac.
The maniac himself, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's his family of mannequins and his mannequin restoration shop he owns.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite a very random trade to be in.
Yeah, it was and then there's the girl who comes to take pictures of his mannequins because she's like a fine artist.
She's the love interest, isn't she? The love interest.
Yeah, I could say that. It's not really characters, they're all victims, aren't they?
Yeah,
Everyone
exactly,
is.
Like he goes on a dating website and he hooks up with girls on there and then he meets them. Thing is, Elijah Wood doesn't look his best, does he? But yet
It's definitely roughed around the edges.
Yeah. it's weird that she finds this guy so attractive, and even that, he's dull. He's dull in conversation, isn't he? Obviously, she's the first victim she's the second victim that we see. And then there's a woman
where the murder is a lot more graphic and doesn't need. I don't know whether there was CGI. If it was very, very.
No,
good.
this one wasn't. This one I don't think it was, because you could see him literally cutting into her head. It was obviously a model that they've sculpted and they're cutting into and ripping apart. There was no way that was CGI.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't. If so, well done. It convinced me. Just like as he was slicing open her face, and he was apologising whilst he was doing it, wasn't he? Because it's not. It's like he's got a split personality. That's what we're kind of getting with Elijah Wood. He's got like this.
I think that was a good point to talk about the split personality, because you can see him, but then every now and again, when you're still looking through his first person view, like say he looks at himself in a mirror or catches a reflection, he's not actually looking directly at himself. So you, as the camera, the first person looking in, can see him looking
elsewhere, but not.
Yeah,
at
sort
himself.
of at the mirror, but not at the camera.
It's
so
well filmed.
So that suggests that he's maybe got to. And even at one point he says, "Look what you made us do." I think.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like that Lord of the Rings thing where Gollum and Smeagol.
That's it. Yeah.
It reminds me.
Back
a
and
lot
forth
of
banter, but Gollum looks menacing, but Gollum looks timid.
Smeagol.
Yeah, Smeagol looks timid and
Yeah.
like very dominated.
Yeah, it's really obvious.
And you can obviously tell which one's talking, but in this one you can't tell.
It's like a tone of voice.
Yeah.
I think there's like a scared person and then like an angry person, and that comes across because of his childhood. Because there are some like really horrific flashbacks of his childhood, like involving his.
Very graphic.
Not gonna go into what it
Or
is.
show any scenes of such nature.
Yeah.
But let's just say his mother was a very naughty woman.
So yeah, obviously like traumatising childhood memories has caused him to have this sort of split personality where one side of him is really angry and he just needs to get the aggression out, and I guess that's why he's targeting victims, particularly the one woman is sort of like would have been his mother's age that he targets, essentially. And he even calls her mother or something
And gives
like
her a
that
good old after slashing up his back.
while he's murdering her, which is really, really, really
And again,
disturbed.
you feel it. The way he gets his knife and branches it over her shoulder blade and then goes down.
Alright.
You could just see, yeah, I know, ooh, goosebumps. It feels it, you can feel it, and her acting is on point.
Oh.
I've literally made 1 page of notes because I was so invested in the film and not writing notes. But I have just read one of my notes which highlights one of the best characters in the film, and it was weird. Like, I think it was the strangest part of the film. The coots making duck noises.
Stop your liquid, someone.
Do you remember that? There's a shot where he's sitting down with this girl and they're feeding the
I
coots,
don't think that- I don't
but
think
they're making
they're-
duck noises.
I think when I looked at it again, they were a kind of duck, but they weren't mallard.
Some of it was really predictable, I found, though, because you said, oh, that's where she's going to hack off her Hercules tendons as she's walking by the car.
The Achilles tendon.
You knew it was going to happen, but when he did it, we felt it, didn't we?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was just like.
So
well,
well done.
again, I think the reason though that I predicted that was because I was looking through his eyes.
Yeah, his perspective.
For the entire film, it really helps you sort of empathise with the character, because a lot of the like 9 times out of 10 a horror film is through the eyes of the victim. So like, because
What the victim's feeling.
yeah, because it's more fearful being a victim, isn't it? Whereas on this one, you feel the victim's fear, but also you feel the victim of the, you empathise a lot with the killer, which is weird. An interesting video, I can't remember where I heard it from, but they were discussing why people have a fascination with murders and like why do we have, it's 32. I think he talked about, he did a video about why we as humans are obsessed with serial killers, and basically at the end of the day it's because it's such an insane and out of nature thing for humans to do.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It fascinates us, and we want to. We get hooked on that idea because we go, well, what would happen if we did? Because it's like almost like a fantasy.
A
Because,
what if sort of scenario.
yeah, because it's such like to the average person who's not got psychological damage
Yeah,
and
exactly.
wants to go out on a manhunt. Yeah, I know. You value human life as well, don't you?
Great response, Jesse. Great response. But on more to the point of the fact that you see it through his eyes, and like you said, you sympathise with the killer. It's also as well.
That's why it was predicted that I knew he was gonna. I thought, well, he's got Law here. He's got out of the way. He's got a knife there. He's just gonna wait for it. He's just gonna wait for it to wander around.
Well, that's the thing.
She had big clip coffee heels on. You could hear her a mile off.
Silly woman. And she did again, like I mentioned in the first one, the trope of like, there are ways out. Like she turned around, she couldn't see where he went, but that you can climb on to climb over the bars. Take off your flip flops.
She didn't have flip flops. She had clodhoppers on about that big.
Yeah, well, take them off because that's not no way to run away from a killer. Right, so we've got characters down. Our next one, plot. Now, there's one thing I want to bring up about this plot. It is literally, obviously, the life of a serial killer, but he connects with one of his victims, or one of his would-be victims, who's this French girl who's an artist who loves mannequins. He falls in love with her, essentially, and then he finds out that she has a boyfriend, essentially, and he doesn't like her boyfriend. But what did I say? When she said she wanted to borrow some of his mannequins to make an art piece, an installation piece, didn't I get exactly what she wanted to do right?
What was that?
Project faces onto the mannequins. I said to you, I bet she's going to get those mannequins and project her face onto it. This is what an art degree does for you.
Well, she predicted her own face.
Projected her own face on the mannequins.
It was really creepy.
I knew straight away that that's what an art degree does for you. You can tell what someone's going to do with those mannequins. And she became quite successful.
Yeah, I must be obsessed with mannequins like you were at one point.
Yes, I did like mannequins at one point. I still do. Mannequins are cool.
Thank you!
Yeah, so he falls in love with this woman, and it's all about learning about the character, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's because like she's like shows interest in his shop, and she comes into his life just like, yeah, I want to take pictures of your mannequins, and
then they complement each other, don't they?
She
Saying
has a
they're very
show,
unique people.
doesn't she?
Yeah.
She has like an art show with the mannequins, and just before that they have like well, it's not a date, is it? Because she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't mention the boyfriend.
That's what I don't like. I didn't like
mention
that about her.
the boyfriend until like
After the film, because I got to see cinema.
Yeah, they go to see an old film at the cinema. And then as they're saying goodbye, she's like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend, casually. And
It's like, you just spent a whole day with this person, got a coffee with this person, been in constant contact with this person, gone to see a film with this person. There is connection there. And yet she just throws in, oh, do you want to come have a drink with my boyfriend? And evidently he's upset by this.
yeah.
And I was like, no wonder you're killing people if girls are leading you around. Like
No wonder you're killing people. A bit too much empathy there. It's
I feel sorry for poor Elijah. So yeah, he was led on by the photographer lady, the French photographer lady who's not French, and that obviously upsets our little Elijah, and he starts having more attacks. We haven't even brought up what he does with his victims. He scalps them, doesn't he?
I think it's like when you said about his mannequin family, that's like literally his family. He like staples the hair to the head of the mannequins. It's just so disturbed.
Yeah.
It's wonder where people get the idea for these concepts, don't you?
So, guys, I've got a great idea for a film. You know, Elijah Wood stapling scalps to mannequin heads. Like, we'll give you $8,000 for it, you know. The plot, I think the plot was solid.
Especially at the end where,
The climax, we're getting to the climax now.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I say it is literally the day in the life of a maniac, and then he finds love, and then he's getting close to this love, and then the climax
Well, he thinks
happens.
he's found love.
He goes over to comfort her, but he constantly says,
I came all this way.
I came all the way across.
In your time of need.
In your time of need. And even when she finds out that he's the killer, he's still saying it.
She starts like really panicking at this point, and you can see the panic building in her face, and she's actually really good at defending herself.
She is. She doesn't do half the things that I say that they shouldn't do in films. Because she actually gets a knife and tries to back him away.
Yeah,
but
she does defend herself.
She does hide, but she does scream for help and she locks the door. And then, but then she does do something that I hated near the end, where she got into a car, which I was like, great. But she went to run him over.
Oh, she got in someone else. No, somebody else let her in their car.
Yeah, and then she got their wheel crashed into him, and then crashed into the car, and then he went over to her and scalped her.
He doesn't know this person. He doesn't want to run him over. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's just picked
This
up
is
a
off of
woman.
this woman, yeah.
He's just picked up this woman who's like bleeding to death. And
I liked it when she pretended to be dead and stabbed him with a mannequin hand. That's one thing she did that I didn't like. She stabbed him, which was great, but I would have pushed him over and punched him in the head.
he puts her scalp on a bride, on the mannequin bride thing,
And marries her.
and marries her.
Because I thought that these ghosts of his victims were coming back to rip him apart. But then it turns out he was just doing it himself.
Oh, yeah, because, throughout the film, you see, like, flashes of him, like, especially when he has these, like, little panic attacks, you see, like, flashes of him with mannequin parts. So, like, he's got, like, there's one where he looks down and his crotch is, like, a mannequin's crotch, and then his hand turns into a mannequin hand at one point.
And he
It
starts
doesn't
scrubbing
really, like,
hard,
it's all
doesn't he, with his scours.
it's all in his head. If there's anyone who's really good at analysing films, do comment what you think,
Yeah.
because
Don't watch us, watch them, because they're probably better at analysing films than we are. But yeah, it's very symbolic, because they do talk about mannequins in a very poetic sense. Like the photographer and Elijah Wood, they talk about mannequins they have more personality than most humans, or they do this beautiful, poetic, equal love for mannequins.
yeah, I think it's because, like, when you look up at your parents, they're supposed to be like, yeah.
Thanks, Jesse. Thank you very much, my boy. Don't take note, Jesse. Grow up to be a nice person.
Just do that. Yeah.
Just do that through life.
Don't scalp people. Just do that.
I can't believe we need to tell our son not to scalp people.
Yay.
My view on the whole mannequin situation is that he sees humanity as empty. Like he feels empty.
Yeah.
A mannequin is empty.
I
It's
think
just a face.
A hollow plastic shell.
Plastic shell. And I think that's how he feels, and that's why he connects with them so much more than a human. But then he meets obviously the photographer lady who shares that kind of similar.
Yeah, because the way his mum threw her body around it was like she was a hollow plastic
Well,
shell.
exactly. That's it. She had no respect, did she, for her body and how she felt, and that's how he became that. We probably haven't done the film justice because obviously we've got other things in. But if I had to do a Frightday Friday rating, it would be a solid. I'm gonna have to say 9.5.
9, yeah, definitely.
9.
At least a 9.
At least a 9. And anything lower
I
would
don't
be
know
an insult.
why is it not 10 though?
The thing is, I think about 10 is because nothing's perfect though. But the thing is, I can't think of any flaws apart from the CGI at the start, because it's so obviously CGI.
I think it's really well done. I think probably if you were to do a star, probably 5-star rating.
5-star rating, 9 score.
9.5 on it.
Yeah, 9.5. We'll say 9.5.
9.5 on a Friday. Friday.
There we go.
I honestly don't. I don't know what was missing there.
There was a
Because you got a good idea.
It wasn't rushed. It was not rushed.
You're not going to point not talking now because you won't.
Yeah, you're right. Right, thank you very much for watching. 9.5. It wasn't rushed. It was a 5-star rating. 9.5 rating for us. Thank you very much for watching.
What
Stay
was
tuned.
It rushed?
Film.
Oh, okay.
The story, everything. So thank you very much for watching. See you guys again next week, and
Yeah, just take the. And if you haven't seen it, then you shouldn't be watching a review anyway.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? Jesus.